Sunrise over the temples of Luang Prabang. Majestically lining the banks of the river Mekong, the former royal capital greets the dawn. From here begins a once-in-a-lifetime cruise along Southeast Asia's longest river. It is a journey with its own rhythm, allowing the senses to unwind at their own pace. A journey that will take you deep into the remote landscape of northern Laos, and perhaps a little closer to yourself. The day in Luang Prabang begins with the traditional morning alms ceremony. For Buddhist believers, it is an honor as well as their duty to give monks rice and other offerings in the early hours of the morning. Like a bright orange ribbon, the monks wend their way through the historic town center, a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1995. A quick detour to the market. A kaleidoscope of colors, exotic produce and fish. There are some 30 temples in the city. Nowhere else in Laos is the country's rich Buddhist heritage so visible as in Luang Prabang. The Wat Sieng Tong is an architectural masterpiece. Parts of the temple date back to its construction in the 16th century. Almost 500 years later, Buddhism is still very much alive in this special place of worship. But the city is also a center for handicrafts. High-quality silks are an especially popular souvenir. Paper is still made by hand from the bark of the mulberry tree. Outside the city, vibrant green rice paddies are surrounded by a pristine landscape. The Quang Si waterfalls are a miracle of nature and a magnet for visitors. In the evening, guests are greeted with the traditional Basi ceremony on the ship. Mantras are recited and white threads tied to wrists to bring good fortune to those on board. As the sun settles over the hills, the Mekong shows off its serene majesty and sets the mood for the adventure that is about to begin. The following morning, the great journey commences. The Mekong explorer sets off from Luang Prabang, making its way upstream to the north. It's a journey few will make. Only this vessel and sister ship Mekong Sun offer cabins on this route. The Mekong Explorer is a floating boutique hotel. With 16 generous-sized cabins, it is the most comfortable passenger ship to ply the northern Mekong, with 5-star service, of course. Lean back and relax on the sun deck. The green hills of Laos glide past, the view a soothing balm for the soul. The teak-panelled cabins are decorated in colonial style, with ample stowage, air conditioning, and an ensuite bathroom with shower. Some even have their own balcony. The Mekong Explorer offers adventure to the discerning traveller. Even professional massages are available on board. The first stop, the caves of Pak U, an ancient pilgrimage site and repository for old Buddha figures. There are hundreds of them, made of metal, stone, and wood. It is a mystical place full of prayers, wishes, and hopes. The journey upstream continues. The Mekong becomes even more primordial, wild, and sometimes temperamental. Only the most experienced captains can navigate this section of the river. But the pull of the Mekong is strong here, and its beauty undeniable. The landscape drifts past at a leisurely pace, as if on a giant cinema screen. The Mother of Waters, as the people on the banks respectfully call their river. The Mekong is far more than just a 4,000-kilometer transportation route. For the people of Laos, it is a lifeline and a living legend. Although Laos is one of the poorest countries in Asia, its people have a natural zest for life that many a richer nation could envy. The next day, the ship's passengers are introduced to the secrets of Laotian cuisine. The ship's cook prepares a few local specialities, such as green papaya salad with lard, in this case made of ground chicken fillet, a typical Laotian dish. Fresh herbs, crisp vegetables, and top-quality ingredients make every mealtime aboard the Mekong Explorer a culinary delight. Sharing a meal while outside a bamboo forest glides silently by, a moment to be savoured. Many different ethnic tribes live here in the remote north of Laos. Their villages can often only be reached by river. The daily excursions from the ship offer encounters with completely different worlds. The Khmu ethnic group, for example, mostly live in simple bamboo huts. Life has changed little here over the last few centuries. But the guests from the Mekong Explorer haven't just taken photographs and memories away with them. Many have also left generous contributions to show their gratitude for the hospitality here, such as this schoolhouse, because education is the most important gift one can give to the children here. The ship travels onwards towards the Golden Triangle. Meanwhile, the Mekong explorer has picked up a few stowaways, testimony to the rich diversity of Laotian flora and fauna. The ship has to fight with all its might against the current. The engines are running at full speed. On this particular stretch of rapids, even a modern ship needs some help. More than 60 villagers have to help pull the vessel upstream, giving the ship's engines much needed support. Finally, the joint effort between man and machine is over, and the ship is safely beyond the rocks and shallows. In the afternoon, it is time for waffles and other delicacies on the sun deck, served with delicious Laotian coffee. The gentle headwind feels good in the 30-degree sun. The Mekong sparkles in the late afternoon light. Just before sundown, the captain anchors at a sandbank for the night. This evening there's something special planned, a grill party on the banks of the Mekong with a real campfire. The crew provide the entertainment, and the singing soon attracts the children from the next-door village. All of a sudden, the evening turns into a Laotian song contest, a magical moment and completely spontaneous. The following morning, a visit to an elephant camp. The magnificent animals are still often used to transport wood. Their second job as a tourist attraction is certainly less strenuous and provides the passengers of the Mekong Explorer with a memorable mode of transportation. And the daily dip in the river is obviously a highlight for both elephants and visitors. The mighty river is becoming broader again. The Mekong Explorer is now approaching its final destination. It already has a good 250 kilometers behind it. Although the ship now feels like a second home to everyone, all good things must come to an end. And that end is in Huai Sai, just before the Thai border. The crew make a few last offerings to the spirit houses on the upper deck, as a thank you to the river gods for a safe journey. In the evening, the assembled crew take their leave of the passengers. Their immaculate service is much appreciated. They pull out all the stops for the farewell dinner. The sunrise sets the mood for the last day, a visit to the Golden Triangle. Here, where Laos, Thailand and Myanmar all meet, the rice harvest is in full swing. In the second half of the 20th century, the name was synonymous with the opium trade, when drug merchants were paid for their wares with bars of pure gold, giving the region its notorious nickname. Today, the Golden Triangle has become a popular tourist destination, and it is here that the guests will get their last glimpse of the Mekong. The glorious temples of Chiang Rai give another meaning to the name Golden Triangle. While walking through their peaceful gardens, the passengers can reflect upon these bewitching days of travel. Colours, smells and sounds will all have their own places in the memories of this journey, and also its special rhythm, which has shown them that the most beautiful moments occur when travelling at such a leisurely pace.